Hello, happy Monday, or not. They come around fast, don't they, these Mondays. Just sat down, 3 o'clock, to have some lunch. Busy mum. I don't know why I'm not really skinny, because I barely eat. I don't know about you, but I think living in the UK is like living in some kind of weird matrix. And I know a lot of people like to throw the matrix word, but all I'm saying is that everything seems to be like a psychological game. So today, I mean, it's gone so dark, I'll probably put the lights on in a minute, but we did have about 60 minutes of sunshine and some blue sky. And I heard somebody say, oh, what a lovely day, as it went dark again back to cloud, and you couldn't see the sun anywhere. So for some people, if you get 30, 60 minutes of sun in a day, they say it's been a nice day because it's warm, even though it's completely grey and you can't see the sun anywhere. But if you ask them, they'd say it'd been a nice day. But for me, a nice summer's day in middle of July would be seeing the sun, bright blue skies, fluffy clouds. And quite a lot of those days, not just, I think we've had 3 in York this month. Then in COVID, obviously there was a huge propaganda fearmonger campaign, but there were lots of people who saw through it, and yet so many others were so scared, even though they may have had COVID with little symptom, or the kids might have had it with barely a snivel, and they would still take tests even though they'd had COVID, or they would take tests without symptoms and they would still be really scared. And you had some people who thought it was scientific to put a mask on to walk to the loo, to come back to your table and take it off and eat your dinner. Some people thought that was okay and they didn't question that. Again, 2 completely different parallels of which group you sat in. You then had the horrific situation we saw last summer with little girls at a dancing class getting mercilessly stabbed to death repeatedly. The worst nightmare you could ever imagine. And yet the authorities just didn't really seem to go on about that much. No real thoughts. 30 seconds of candles or whatever, but they spent all their time going heavy on normal family people who were outraged at what had happened. So again, ignore the maniac, ignore the evil horror show, but focus on just normal family orientated Brits who don't think that's okay. You've got the fact, it seems you can walk out of a shop with an armful of shopping, a whole basket full, and yet there won't be any police. Nobody really cares. They won't say anything, just let you walk out. Yet if you're a little granny and you've gone a few miles over 30 in a 30 zone, there's always a copper there with a camera and you'll get done with punitive fines and points on your licence. So, you know, real crime, forget it. Carrying a knife, whatever. But, you know, go a couple of miles over 30 when there's no traffic, no pedestrians, nothing, then yeah, you'll get in trouble. And then every day we see the government telling us there's no money. We've got so many black holes. It's ridiculous. And we need to pay more every week. We're told we need more of your money. We need more taxes. We need you to work longer until you're able to get your tiny little pension. But at the same time, we see literally every other day the government spending a small fortune on countries outside of the UK, whether it's Syria or multiple projects in Africa or billions for the Chagos Islands. Then there seems to be money trees like no forest has ever seen. But then the next day we're told there's no money. Is it gaslighting? Is it like a parallel universe? I don't know. But what I do know is that every day in the UK right now seems to be some kind of psychological game. And to most of these games, there seems like there's two very different polarized teams you can choose to sit on. But either way, it's an utter mind game living in the UK right now.